Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Hey, horror, sci-fi, and 80s action movie fans. We're here from Horror, Sci-Fi, and Beyond, and this is kind of part one of our Christmas special. We got part two coming out on Christmas. But we're going kind of off the beaten path. We're not doing a horror movie, we're not doing a sci-fi movie, we're not doing a fantasy movie, and we're not doing like any superhero movie that would fall into any of those categories. I kind of want to do something different. We got to talk about an alternative Christmas classic. And if you didn't know by the intro, we're doing motherfucking Die Hard.
Die Hard. It may be one of the greatest action movies of the 80s.
I mean, it's not my personal favorite action movie of all time. That would be T2.
Well, it's hard to compare to T2. I mean, T2 is arguably maybe perfect, and really, like T2 is what kind of gives me hope for the new Avatar movie. Is that they can make a sequel years after the fact. Cameron can and still make it happen. But
yeah,
Die Hard may be one of my favorite action movies of the 80s, especially like during that time when there was these sort of like uber macho men like Stallone and Predator, or not Stallone and Predator, like Stallone and Cobra, and like Schwarzenegger and like Predator or Commando, where they're like really over the top. This still feels like a real human being kind of cut in this situation.
I got some themes, Bennett.
Oh yeah, those are.
You're getting tired, John. You're getting tired.
It's really good. But I love Die Hard. Die Hard, it runs neck and neck with this one and the third one, Die Hard with a Vengeance, as far as like which one's better.
Die Hard with a Vengeance, but I got a funny story. Every time me and my mom watch Die Hard, and she sees Alan Rickman, Colin Gerber, my mom always says, "Hey, I like that actor. He was the voice of Scar in The Lion King." I'm like, "No, that is not Scar from The Lion King. That is Jeremy Irons. He played Hans Gruber's brother in Die Hard 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance. Get it right. Yep. It is every year, Mom."
I mean, in her defense, at least it's a voice, you know, and it would be easy to kind of mix up all those quasi-British actors.
Yeah, but they're just simply different.
Yeah, I get it, though. I confuse a lot of people, too, though.
I'm like, did that sound like Scarf to you?
Eventually, though, you think that she would remember, but maybe not. Maybe she does it to mess with you at the end.
I think she does, honestly.
I think so. That's probably what it sounds like. She probably does it because you get real mad every time, and you're like, no, that's not it.
It's like kind of what we were saying, that like, you know, in the 80s you had like the 80s kind of macho machismo, you know, guys shirtless, you know, in the jungle just blasting the hell out of everything they see.
Right.
You know, you had Arnold and Schwarzenegger and, you know, Jean-Claude and, you know, Chuck Norris and all those guys.
Yeah, all of those. All of them, yeah.
Die Hard was definitely the turning of the tides for action movies because John McClane was just a guy. You know, he was just a New York City detective. He got caught in this situation 400 times.
Yeah, no, I mean yeah. That's why each sequel gets a little less believable than the last one.
And that's the great thing about it is, like, you look at the 90s action movies, and I think that's why I like 90s action movies more, because it was more grounded. It was just regular old people. Like, even Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of transitioned from the big, you know, kind of meat-headed, like, action hero to more of like a family man, a husband or a father. And like movies like True Lies, Total Recall, and even Terminator, he come to become the father figure to John Connor. Speaking of True Lies, James Cameron, put that shit on HD.
What? It's not on HD? I thought it was in a Blu-ray somewhere.
No.
Is it not?
No, not this one.
That's wild. Now wait. So wait, is it out there on like Blu-ray in HD?
Yeah, I think it's like a bootleg. Kind of like the
No,
Star Wars
no way.
prequels.
No way.
Yeah,
I'm
but
looking it up right now because I don't believe that.
I want to see Jamie Lee Curtis do that dance at the highest quality possible.
That's fair.
But yeah, he
You can
doesn't.
get one. You can get one, but it's like imported from Spain, so I don't
Yeah,
know if I trust that.
yeah, I don't know, but I
Wow,
think it's a
did not
bootleg.
know that. That's kind of wild that it's not out there on in Blu-ray.
Yeah,
Nuts.
but
Ridiculous.
anyways, before we get to our Die Hard review, I
Yes.
got one announcement to make.
Okay.
I mentioned before this is our first part of our Christmas special. Our second part is gonna be a version of the Christmas Carol. We don't know which one it's gonna be yet because when we're filming this, people are still
Voting.
voting on it. But when
Yes.
you watch it, the votes are gonna be locked. That the voting's gonna be locked. So anyway, that's coming out December 25th on Christmas, and hopefully Reed Lackey from the Fear of God podcast will be on there with us.
Cool.
Yeah, I asked him, and he said he might be on there if if he can schedule it.
You can at
Um,
least pop in, give us 2 cents, like just like a 2 minute
yeah,
review.
yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And then we got a couple more announcements on that video. We're gonna announce the big project
Oh,
next year.
well, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
So moving on to the next thing. You know it's coming. Now it's time for the show. Part of the show. What horror, sci-fi, and fantasy media have you been consuming?
Okay, and we're just doing two.
Yeah, we're gonna the two are gonna be like our main one. Then there's just have a bunch of honorable mentions.
So main two, man, I got to do three, but I'll do quick. I finally saw Pearl, and it's great. It's not too super surprising, but the last shot is worth the price of admission alone.
Oh really?
It's yeah, chef's kiss. And then I went and saw Bones and All, and pretty
Which
good,
one?
solid. Bones and All,
Huh?
Cannibal Bones and All.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's a Cannibal Love Story.
No. Oh
It's
yeah, I've
fun.
heard about it. I think
Yeah,
I've heard.
kind of falls apart, but by the end, but pretty good for the most part. And then the last thing, and I've been sleeping on it for a minute, is Andor. I don't know if you've had a chance to start it
I
yet.
watched the first two episodes when I was on my Yellowstone trip,
Right?
but I didn't finish it.
Uh,
We're going to Florida for Christmas, so I'll probably watch the whole
mm,
series when we're down there or
that's
on the
fair.
way down there. I heard it's really
Solid,
good.
solid. It's great. I'm about halfway through right now. Pretty amazing. Good, solid. Which is much more than I can say about the Book of Boba Fett or Kenobi, which were trash.
I like
But
Kenobi. It was fine.
I hated it. There was just no stakes for me. Like it's all these characters who are supposed to be in danger, but it's like I know all these people live. Like
Right.
nothing bad's gonna happen to them. Like it's
Um.
little Leia. She's gonna grow up.
Yeah, I'm surprised that people are liking Andor because like Andor's not really my favorite like character in Rogue One. That would be Donnie Yen's character.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I mean, I would watch a show about Donnie Yen's character too. I'd
Mm.
watch the character. I mean, Rogue One to me is probably the best Star Wars movie they've made in like since maybe the originals. So I'm
Well,
fine with it.
that's Star
And
Wars
I
since
think
the original with Mandalorian.
I think Andor is better than Mandalorian, and that
I
sounds like blasphemy, and people are gonna be mad. But
right, I got
that's
you.
my opinion. I like Mandalorian, but I think it's a little too monster of the week sometimes. Like I feel like there's a lot of thought and character that goes into these. That this feels like a more mature Star Wars show. If that
Oh,
makes
really?
sense.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
excited to check it out now.
it's worth it. It's worth a go. I think it feels like stakes are higher too sometimes. Like
Mm.
Mandalorian feels like there's like one-off episodes. And there's some like really good episodes of Mandalorian, but there are just some that I'm like, he just fought a monster in that one, or like, oh, he's got to like climb aboard the Jawa ship in this one.
Mm.
I mean, it's like there's just this one. There's like it's built into like arcs. So like the first three episodes are like one arc, and then like the next three episodes are like another arc. So like they're like little mini movies like throughout like these 12 episodes.
So, do you have any honorable mentions you want to throw out there?
Actually, I think that was it. I think those are the only things I've watched.
Anyways, I guess I'll talk about some movies I've been watching since the last time we talked.
Hmm.
Um, The first one I want to highlight is the new thriller movie called The Menu.
Oh, you saw the menu.
Yeah, I freaking loved it. It was like probably
Okay,
my second favorite movie of the year,
cool.
next to Top Gun. Um, this movie is just crazy. It's making fun of everything pretty much. It's making fun of celebrity worship. It's making fun
Hmm.
of pretentious fruit critics. It's making fun of like the obsession
Hmm.
to perfection. It's making fun of all kinds of stuff. And I think the two highlights in the movie as far as acting goes, it's Anna Taylor Joy as
Hmm.
this really snarky character who just is not into this at all.
Hmm.
Um, and then you have Ralph Fiennes character who's kind of like a
Hmm.
mix. He's like a celebrity staff, and he's
Yeah.
pretty much if Hannibal Lecter and the Jigsaw Killer basically had a baby, and that baby became a celebrity staff.
Okay. All right. That sounds great.
And it's very Hitchcockian. And I know that's a cliche to call a thriller Hitchcockian, but no, this
Sure.
is like right up Hitchcock's alley.
Okay.
Because like every course of this meal, things get more and more fucked up
Hmm.
throughout. So, and I think that's very much a Hitchcock thing.
Oh,
Like,
sure. I mean, like just really ratcheting up that tension.
mm. And
Yeah.
then the second, or there's actually two movies, but they kind of go hand in hand. I already told you about the. Finally got to see Terrifier 1 and 2. And those movies are crazy.
I wanted it to be crazier though. I built it up in my mind, I think, too much. Like, because I'd heard so many people like you hear all the stories about people like fainting in the theaters or some kid threw up in his popcorn. And I was
That
like,
always
oh, this is gonna
happens.
be really messed up. And I was like, yeah, it's not that messed up.
Yeah, that happens and that happened with Frankenstein and The Exorcist and all
Right.
that stuff.
The bedroom scene I think is like it's tour de force. Like it
Oh yeah,
is
that was awful. Oh my god, I had to look at it like that.
the part the best part of the whole thing is like it's really violent and gruesome and like he rips her hand in half and all that sort of stuff and he leaves and you're like, oh, he just left her alive. Is she gonna get to the phone? And then he runs back in with like salt and bleach and just starts pouring them. Ah, man, that was what the promise of the movie was to me. Is like when it got to that scene, I was like, yes, now we're going. And then it never got as good as that again.
I actually think Art to Com's way scarier than Pennywise, both versions.
I believe it.
He
I
didn't
I
say
would
anything.
especially say I would especially say like maybe the first movie. I feel like he's scarier to
Oh
me
yeah, absolutely. Like when he was in the
because
diner or the pizza.
yeah, because he's like a real person in that one. Like this one, he's kind of like a mythical creature. Or
Mm,
he's like he's been resurrected or something. I'm kind of like, not as scary. But like him pulling like the gun in the first one is like genuinely surprising. Like I was like, oh shoot, because most of these movies set it up like he only uses knives and stabbing weapons, but then he's like, I got a gun. He just shoots the girl. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, I didn't
right.
see it coming. It was nice. It was nice. There was nice surprises in the first one, although it's barely a movie.
That
It's
little
mostly just
girl
a
in the
string of
second one was
excuses.
creepy. Like when he turns the corner and he's just sitting there smiling, that was freaky.
Yeah, I wonder. There's a lot of stuff in the movie that I'm just like, how does this tie together? Like, who is this little girl? Like, what? How does the other lady give birth to the head? Who's
Mm.
who's Chris Jericho in this world? Like, there's just
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
I have a lot of questions. But it's fun. It was a lot of fun. Maybe too long, but it was fun.
Yeah. So some more honorable mentions would be Denis Villeneuve's Enemy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was a weird movie. I had to watch
I love
Chris
that movie.
Stuckman displaying video to understand what was going on. So some other movies I've been watching that falls in these categories is Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, uh, saw the new Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Cujo,
Oh,
the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which was a lot of fun.
mm,
Kevin Bacon actually
okay,
makes an appearance in there.
nice.
Yeah, which was a lot of fun. And then I know this isn't a horror, sci-fi, or fantasy movie, but this movie inspired two iconic characters from Star Wars, R2D2 and C3PO, and that would be Akira Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress. Let's get down to the Die Hard review.
Die
Um,
Hard.
so before we actually talk about the video, the movie, or review the movie, what is your relationship with Die Hard? How did you find out about it?
I want to say I found out about it around like 95, when Die Hard with a Vengeance was coming out. And I remember seeing like TV commercials and stuff for that, and they were like, "Coming up next on the Saturday afternoon movie is Die Hard." And I was like, "What is that?" So I watched it, and it was amazing. And it was like a TV edit too, so you're like, I'm missing so much good stuff.
Mm,
Mostly cursing and things. So the first time I watched Die Hard, I definitely saw like a TV edited version, and it was still good. So if that tells you anything, you can still watch the edited version of Die Hard and still enjoy it, or at least I did as a 10-year-old. But yeah, I've been a Die Hard fan since like the 90s. And I think to me, if you were going to rank them in order, it would go one and a close second, third, and then four, and then two, and then five, which we won't talk about five. Five's
yeah, I
terrible,
heard bad
but
things.
it's not good. And two's not bad either. And four's kind of bad in some ways.
Mm,
Either way, one and three are great. You should watch those two. And then if you're like feeling some more John McClane, check out the other ones. But I love
right.
Die Hard. I think it's
So
great. I
five.
watch it every Christmas.
Um,
How did you come about it?
I just remember my stepdad having the VCR tape of Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Mm,
And I remember, I think I don't know if you remember. You might be too old, but too young. But I remember when a new DreamWorks movie would come out on DVD. During the
hmm
previews, they would get an actor from the next DreamWorks movie. So, like for
mm,
example, I think it was, I think it was Shrek 2 or the B movie where I think it was
hmm
Frank. I think it was no, it was Madagascar where they had Steve Carell from Over the Hedge come out, and they
Okay.
and of course Bruce Willis was in that movie as
Yes,
the
yes, yes, yes.
raccoon, and I'm like, wait, the dude from that VCR tape that my stepdad owns,
hmm That's the
that guy,
one.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis is a journeyman actor.
Yep.
Rest of his career. He's no longer performing. But
Yeah.
he had a hit a TV show in the 90s called Bruno or something. He also
Oh,
had a
really?
music career where he like sang songs. Not
Mm-hmm.
very well. He also did comedies like Hudson Hawk, which are kind of terrible and amazing at the same time. Bruce
Right.
Willis can do no wrong, except for all of some movies in the 90s, which were kind of bad, like Striking Distance and The Color of Night.
Yeah.
Ooh.
12 Monkeys.
I love 12 Monkeys. I think
That
12 Monkeys
movie
is
is
amazing.
weird,
Oh, I love it. It's good.
but
Brad Pitt's a little over the top, but whatever.
yeah. But let's get on to the Die Hard review.
Die Hard.
Yeah. So the first thing of note is I love John's intro to the movie where he's
Who's on
on
the
a
airplane?
plane. Yeah, when he's
Mm,
on the plane and the guy next to him clearly sees that he's nervous, and he basically tells McClane, the secret to surviving air travel is when you get to where you're going, take off your shoes and your socks and make fists with your toes. I've been doing
Fist
it
with
for
your
8 years.
toes. Fist
And
with your
then they
toes.
land, right? And
Mm,
then John McClane, goes up to the overhead bin and the
hmm
dude sees his gun exposed and John goes, "Oh yeah, no worry, I'm a cop. I've been doing it for 11 years."
Been doing this for 11 years. He picks up the bear, and then John McClane's always getting some eyes from ladies, like at all points.
Hmm.
I don't know what it
I
is. I don't know what
mean,
it is. I
Bruce
get
Willis
it.
is not
I
that
get
good
it.
looking of a guy.
I don't know. I think Bruce Willis is a very attractive man, especially
Really.
in
I
the
mean, even
80s.
if it was
Especially
Rob
when he was
Lowe,
doing this. Yeah.
if it was Rob Lowe, then I can understand.
Maybe. I would prefer Bruce Willis over Rob Lowe, but to each their own.
Yeah.
Touche.
And then I got to say that Ellis is such the perfect scummy douchebag
hmm
dickhead.
Oh no, Ellis is like the perfect worm. So like in a movie like this, you need like a villain like Hans Gruber, and then you need just like a worm, like a guy who's despicable in
Yeah.
multiple ways. And that's Ellis. That's Ellis to a T. He like filled out like that entire role, like archetype for those characters in like the 90s on.
Mm. Hans, Bubby, I'm your white
Bubby.
knight. But real quick,
Ellis.
I just told you that the guy that played Ellis was that did a voice in an animated movie from the 90s.
Right.
And what movie was that, Eric?
That would have been the movie you watched not too long ago, which would have been Mask of the Phantasm.
Yep, absolutely.
hmm
Rest in peace,
I didn't
Kevin.
know that. be honest, I didn't know that. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and then we have Holly McClane, his wife, after he gets off the phone with the babysitter, leads the family photo flat, which is another just kind of indication of like
Hmm.
where their marriage is at.
You mean Holly Gennaro?
Hey, Holly De Niro. Yeah, and I want to get to that. This movie is just a lesson and explain backstory
Hmm.
because you have Argyle who asks John why he's in L.A. Holly uses her maiden name Gennaro at work, and then John and Holly argue about their crumbling marriage.
It could have been like a lot of movies are really bad at this, and this one's fine. It does a fine job, but like it doesn't do a lot of over explaining. Like there
Mm.
isn't like a lot of like there's not like a voiceover that comes in. It's like my wife, she ran off to LA. Now I came to patch things up with her. So there's nothing that bad into it, but
Right,
they
for
do a lot
sure.
of exposition. They do quite a bit of exposition dumping at the top of the movie.
Yeah, and I thought it was real clever how they did that.
Sure.
Yeah. And then I just gotta say that Elle snorting coke in Holly's office is like the most 80s moment in this whole movie. Like, too bad Leo and Tony Montana wasn't there. Because that would have made that scene even more 80s.
Even more 80s? I don't know. It's pretty 80s.
I mean,
Super
compared to
80s.
like other action movies at the time, like Rocky Four and like Rambo and stuff like that.
Rocky Four is real 80s. I would say that Rambo, because they are set in different locales, doesn't feel as 80s to me. But
Mm.
like stuff that like Commando or Red Heat or any of those like Schwarzenegger movies that aren't set in like jungles, they all feel very 80s. And this one is clean and classy enough that it doesn't feel quite as 80s. There's a few like technology things here and there that feel like, oh, that was made in the late 80s. They're trying to do some cool, clever like computer stuff, but it's not. It still looks like wireframe, like green, like
Yeah, but I really you kind of get
DOS
past
X.
that at a certain
Yeah.
point. I want to talk about a throwaway line that I didn't think about.
Okay.
I watched this the other day. So if you didn't already know, John and Holly McClane are separated. They're not like divorced, but they're separated. She goes off to LA and he's in New
Hmm.
York, and she works in this office building called Nakatomi Plaza, owned by this
Hmm.
Japanese man named Mr. Takagi.
Hmm.
And so John goes to visit her on Christmas Eve to kind of work things out. And he basically says to Mr. Takagi, I didn't know Japanese or Japan celebrated Christmas. And he basically
Hmm.
says, well, Pearl Harbor didn't work out, so we got you back with tape decks. And I'm like, I wonder what that means. And so I kind of looked it up, and people were
Hmm.
saying that because around after WW2 and then even through the 80s,
Hmm.
the Japanese economy kind of went booming.
Hmm. Sure.
Um, so I thought that was kind of an interesting kind of little clever line there.
Oh, sure. No, no, there's like this the script is really clever and tight for a movie like this. Even in its reveals and everything. Like the third act, we won't get into it, but like the twist near the end, of like why they're really there and what Hans Gruber and his boys are really doing is very like clever compared to especially to a lot of these other like 80s movies that are like we went back to before. It was just that
Mm.
a lot of them are just big dumb action movies
Oh yeah,
where
for
like
sure.
someone throws a pipe and then says a quippy line. And there are quippy lines in this movie too, but
But you
it
have
feels
the
more
cleverness of the
human.
script.
Yeah, right. Like lines like you were just talking about. There's some subtlety to it. There's some
Mm.
nuance in places
Yeah.
that normally these scripts don't. Normally these action movies don't give.
So
And I
basically,
guess
here
it's
what
because this
happened.
was based on book too.
Yeah. So basically, here what happened. Japan attacked us, with Pearl Harbor, and then we got them back. And then in return, they gave us Nintendo, Godzilla, and hentai.
They got a lot of money off those things too because we bought
Yeah.
them all. American was super consumeristic in the 80s. If you didn't know.
Yeah. I like during the argument scene between Holly and John in the bathroom how Ode to Joy could be heard.
Hmm.
It basically indicates that Han and his crew are about to attack.
Oh yeah, no, the score in this is amazing. Like that is one of the one things I think holds up really well is sort of that like blend between like Carol of Bells and like this it's like a Christmassy sort of militaristic nature to all the score. Like
Carol the
I think
Bells, I
it's
don't
great.
remember hearing that in here.
It's not, but it's like they're playing off of all those things
Oh
that
yeah,
because
okay.
it's so Christmas set and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. There's a lot of great like the music, especially like when they open the vault like later on. Man, it's great. It's a great moment. Like the lights, doors open.
Right. Let me ask you this, Eric. How
Hmm.
does no one see a group of men with machine guns? They stand there for 15 seconds.
I mean, everybody's having a really good time at this
Yeah,
party.
but nobody
Like,
just look just within those 15 seconds. They don't look over.
I mean, maybe someone saw them, but maybe they were just like they didn't. It didn't register that they're holding machine guns until like someone fires one, and then they're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I
and
don't know." I
another.
mean, also people were doing a bunch of blow and having sex at this party, so who knows? Maybe they
Yeah,
just distracted by everything.
and on that topic, how does no one hear John's gunfight on top of the roof?
How do they hear not hear it at the party?
No, at the sort of in the middle of the movie when he gets on the roof and he had
Mm-hmm.
that gunfight with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But
Are you
like,
saying like how did no one on the ground hear it?
yeah,
I mean, also too, it's LA, so
yeah, but like the police clearly heard the gunfire at the party and they sent a distress thing.
yeah. But then someone called it off. I mean, these are like something. These are some things that you're kind of like, let's skim past some of these. A little suspension of disbelief at parts, but also maybe it's because they're so high up. That's what I always equated it to. Although sound does travel, so I don't know.
Yeah, I remember I
I
was
may be
with
just giving it too much credit.
my dad's family,
Hmm.
my biological father
Sure.
family, and my cousin is in the army, and he didn't like how John McClane was doing the one-handed Bravo style of shooting a machine gun. And I'm
Mm,
like, dude, that's cool to do that way. And he was like, no.
that's not how you shoot a gun. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
I
it's
mean,
cooler.
he's not wrong. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, I can't argue with that. But yeah, that's probably not practically how you would shoot a machine gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be
You have no
recoil.
well, you have no control over it. You have no control over like
Mm.
how you're aiming at that point because it's just gonna like go everywhere.
Mm. And I love Han's method of trying to find the Kagi just by
Hmm.
spitting facts at him. And then when they're in the elevator, he compliments his suit. He's like,
That's
nice
suit.
suit. That's up. Blah, blah, blah. London.
Hmm.
I had to myself.
Yeah, no, I mean, it reveals there's really nice like we were complimenting earlier about like character beats between like Holly and John. Hans is like one of the better written like villain characters because of moments like that where it's not
Mm.
just like he's not like the mongoloid monster man in Commando who gets a pipe thrown through him. Like he's like a sophisticated man with a plan, and he's there to like he's there. It makes it appear that he's there for hostages, but really he's there for a different motive.
Right.
And I think that works really well. Plus, he's like super cool. I love Hans Gruber. Alan Rickman. This is my favorite Alan Rickman, I think, other than maybe Robin Hood, Robin and Prince of Thieves,
Right.
which is pretty perfect as well.
Yeah. And the pacing in this movie is excellent because there's a slow build up to an action scene and there's
Yep.
a short burst of action.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
like they'll be like he's trying to get to this part of the building. He ends up in the Kaki's office and there's like a big shootout, or he ends up in the roof and there's a big shootout.
Yeah.
I like
Oh,
that.
and I love it's great because I feel like there's these movies. This type of movie doesn't really get made anymore. This type of action movie.
Mm,
I feel like for better or worse, superhero movies are a lot of fun. But like they're leveling entire buildings, and like things like that. Like this is still, or it's like Independence Day where there's like, entire cities are exploding, like there's big battles and stuff like that. Like this feels smaller and more intimate, and I don't think they really make this type of action movie anymore, which
mm.
is I kind of miss.
And if
Right,
they
and they
do,
would
they're
be
basically ripping off this movie.
right, exactly. I mean, that's what Speed was originally pitched as like Die Hard on a bus. You know what I mean?
Oh, hey, you really did good out there.
Did great out there.
And then John throwing the dead body on Sergeant Powell's car is why I love John McClane. He does
Hmm.
not do things by the book. It's very much a 70s movie cop mentality, i.e., Harry Callahan, Dirty Harry, or Jimmy Doyle from The French Connection.
Right. I
He
mean,
give a
he
shit.
could have.
He'll do anything he wants to, you know,
It's true.
yeah, to finish the case or not finish the case, but
Stop.
save the day.
Get him done. And really, at this point, it's to save his own hide, which is a lot of these other movies do, where they're like, it's like Dirty Harry, they would send in, like Dirty Harry would be the cop out front who goes
Mm,
in to like take out him, but like John is essentially trapped in there with them, and
mm,
it's just as much about his survival and his wife survival than it is about like him catching the bad guys. Like he just wants to live at a certain point, um, which I think resonates a lot better than just like I'm just here to get the bad guys.
right.
Uh, but also too, he could have thrown anything out that window, and
Mm.
it's definitely a choice to throw a body out. Um, and I don't know exactly why. I think he did it. I don't know why he throws the body out, to
Yeah,
be
well, basically
honest.
that's saying, get the fuck up here! The people are trying to kill everybody up here!
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah. Welcome to the party, pal!
Such a wonderful line.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it. Love it.
Probably my favorite McLean line besides the Yippee is when he's in the vent and he does the he flicks his cigarette lighter
Hmm.
and he says now I know what a TV dinner feels like. And then he goes, come out to the cove, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
Classic John McClane. Always wisecracking, but at least it feels genuine there. It doesn't feel like he's saying it. Most of his wisecracks are almost to himself,
Mm,
which is nice. Then it's usually in these type of movies, it would be the Arnold one-liner where he's like, "Let off some steam," or
he has a
in
split.
if he was like Mr. Freeze, he would say something ice related, like
Yeah.
some
Or
really cheesy one-liners.
screw you.
Screw you, Benny.
And then we have
Uh,
the actor William Anderson, and he reprising his role as Walter Peck from Ghostbusters, but this time around he's actually a news reporter.
yeah, he's basically the same person
Yeah.
almost. I
Can
will
I just
say
say
this
one thing
this
real quick, Eric?
sure, of course.
Eat it, Harvey. That's so 80s. Like who
Oh
says
yeah.
eat it now in
I
any
say it all
movie?
the time. I say it all the time. I don't know
Really?
what you're talking about. No, I don't. I've never said that line. I've never never said that to another human
But
being.
when you do say you go, eat it, please don't make
Get
me repeat it.
just get yourself an egg and beat it.
Um, and then I love how John McClane basically figures out that the terrorists are mostly European, judging by their clothing labels and their cigarettes.
Oh
And then
sure, yeah.
and they're
Excuse
also
me.
both financed, judging by the quality of their IDs, which is another reason why I love this character because he just figures out little things.
Sure.
That's why he's such a good detective.
He's listening, yeah, and he's listening and paying attention. Him like riding the elevator and like marking like how many he sees, so he knows. Good stuff.
Mm,
It's not just like a big dummy again, like like every other 80s action movies. He's
right.
like he's like actually planning and like trying to like figure it out.
Mm. And then you have John tells John Sergeant Powell that his name is Roy, like Roy Rogers. I thought that was pretty clever,
Hmm.
and that kind of goes back to the
Oh yeah.
yippee thing.
Right. He's like, who are you? It's like, I was always partial to Roy Rogers.
Mm.
Really like those sequin shirts.
Yep, just another
It's the
person who's
cowboy.
seen too many movies. Someone who thinks he's Lambo. John Wayne,
John Wayne,
Master Dylan,
Marshall Dillon.
Master
So
Dylan.
good.
Um, and then I love how Mr. Vernon from the Breakfast Club became police chief. He was just tired of dealing with those kids. He was tired of dealing with Bender.
Oh yeah.
Became a police chief.
There's a lot of good like small character actors in this movie. Oh, what's his name is one of the FBI agents later. He was a Bond villain. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He was in like
Goonies.
Maniac Cop 2, Goonies. Yeah. Oh man, what is his name?
Robert
Jeez.
Detty.
Yeah. There's just so many like good small bit parts in here who really just like play out their like characters really well.
Mm,
Yeah, it's loaded with like great little character work from all these people.
yeah. And then you have one of the best like John McClane insults in this movie
Hmm.
when the police chief basically like criticizes how he's doing things, and then they're trying to raid the building with that
Oh,
one like arbor car, and that gets blown up, and
yeah,
then a couple minutes later, John McClane goes, "I'm not the one who just got butt fucked on national TV."
he's not wrong.
Yeah, and he cut the
Also,
Argyle, his limo driver, just in the sock. He thought, "What the
yeah,
shit did he just say?"
it's so good.
Yeah, and we can't talk about
It was
how
a line
off.
that I did not. It was a line that I did not get when I first saw this on regular television.
Right? What did he say instead of the actual line?
I want to say I don't remember what he said during that. I know they did a lot of Melon Farmer for a lot of these. Mr. Falcon, I think, was one of them, or
Yeah, listen
that
to
may have been Die Hard 2. I can't remember.
Yippee Mr. Falcon.
Mr. Falcon.
Yeah,
Sexy
but
Mr.
he didn't
Falcon.
even sound like Bruce Willis when he does Mr. Falcon.
No,
So he's like,
absolutely not.
Yippee
Doesn't make.
Mr. Falcon.
I love like bad dubbing of like R-rated movies on television. It
The
makes me
best
laugh
one
every
is
time.
Snakes on a Plane when Sam Jackson goes, "Enough is enough. And had it with these monkey paws snakes in this 9 to 5 plane."
It's 9 to 5 playing. There's a really good. Do you ever see the movie Repo Man with Emilio Estevez and Harry Dean
Mm.
Stanton? They went in and I think I don't remember if they did full scenes or if they just redubbed it themselves, but like they had the actors like at least dub lines that would fill over like all their curse words.
Mm.
And it was the first example of Melon Farmer for MFR. It's really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
What else? Oh yeah, we gotta talk about Argyle. Like
Oh,
Argyle,
Argot's great.
yeah, it's the classic, sidekick character, like this
Oh
goofy
yeah.
sidekick.
Goofy sidekick character who hardly hangs out with the main character of the entire
Yeah, but
movie.
he's enough
He
of a
spends most of it in their
presence throughout
car.
the movie, I feel like.
Oh, sure. Yeah. They always cut back to him. He's always just chilling in the car with his
Yeah.
teddy bear.
And then it just makes me think if this movie would have came out like in the early '80s, you probably would have gone like Eddie Murphy.
Oh, yeah. Easily, probably.
Yeah, I think Eddie Murphy was kind of too big at this point.
Oh, sure. Like he was supposed to be in the original Ghostbusters, and like for whatever reason that didn't work out. This is
Oh,
after
so
Beverly Hills Cop.
here's what happened. Eddie Murphy was probably one of the last contract players.
Mm.
So he was stuck with whatever studio did Beverly Hills Cop. So he couldn't
Oh,
do
yeah.
Ghostbusters.
That makes sense.
And then I think Alan Rickman did a great job of training to be an American hostage.
His
Um,
American accent is spot on.
yeah, I wonder if he took notes from Ellis. He probably
Oh,
did.
I bet he also has that American accent in his back pocket in case he got into a pinch. Like I bet he was like he just knew like something happened. He seems Alan Rick Hans Gruber in this movie feels like he's got like a back plan for everything. That's why it's like, it sets it up as like a hostage
Hmm.
movie and then it's like, no, we're really just robbing the vault. So I think he probably had it
Right.
planned, but
And I
maybe
think
not. I
that's a
don't know.
good point that you made that he has that act in his back pocket. I think he took
Yeah.
certain things from Ellis.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And maybe he
You're one
maybe
of
he
them,
has
aren't
like
you?
one for different situations too, depending what he
Mm,
in. Because he's very
right.
much like. Because remember when when John hands him the gun and he said, I went to a shooting range one time, I put that stupid game where the paintballs shoot out the gun or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he clearly didn't know how to use, or his persona clearly didn't know
Right.
how to use guns.
Or
And
he's
he's
just
very much,
lying. Yeah,
like,
I don't. Yeah, I mean, he's just a really good liar, that Hans
yeah.
Gruber, and he tries to like portray himself as someone that's like doesn't really know, a little weaker, so that he wouldn't
Hmm.
suspect him. It's good.
So, is there anything that you want to add about this movie? Oh, we
Like
talk
add
about.
to the movie.
Well, we
Oh,
gotta
sorry. Go
talk
ahead.
about the explosion scene.
Which one? The one where they explode the roof?
Yeah, at the very end.
Yeah,
That's the most
No,
iconic
that's great.
explosion scene ever. That's the greatest movie explosion ever.
And it's amazing that they could do that on like a real building because this was originally like the Fox building in LA that they took
Mm.
over before it was finished. And so like that's like a real explosion with like a real helicopter that I think that well, it may not be a real helicopter, but there's a lot of that explosion's amazing. And like him like jumping off of the building with just like a fire hose attached around his waist.
I
Wild.
promise I'll never
It's
go
like
on
the most
on top of Never roof ever again.
right. It's the most unbelievable thing.
Mm.
But it's also like if as far as like everything else in the movie is are it's pretty like low key or at least like the level of believability. It's probably the most extreme thing in the movie, but it's reached such a height at that point. It's like blowing up the shark in Jaws. It's like
Yeah.
they can do it because they've built up this level of reality to this point that
Mm.
they can jump he can jump off the building and make it and you kind of go like okay I believe that.
Yeah, but it makes sense within the story because he's supposed to get to a certain floor in enough time.
Sure.
But he
Well, and
didn't
he's also
realize
got
they
to
were
like
about to blow up. So it
right. And
worked
there's
out
like
for
no
him.
way for him to get off the roof at that point other than jump. Like if he stayed up, he would explode. He would be dead.
Yeah, but he didn't really
We
know, I
wouldn't
don't
have.
think.
I think he knew it
Yep.
was going to pop, but I don't think he knew how big it was going to be.
Yeah. Do you have
It's
anything you
amazing.
want to add?
I will just say that Die Hard's great. I think it is a movie that I watch every Christmas. Although I don't know if I consider it a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
I think
I think there's enough
I think
Christmas stuff
any
in there.
that's true. I think any movie can be a Christmas movie if you watch it during Christmas. So I'm gonna say it's a Christmas movie. I think it's a perfect villain. I think it's got good action, and Bruce Willis is super charming.
So Silence of the Lamb is a Christmas movie if you watch it during Christmas time.
Yeah, technically.
Tell
I
you about
mean,
your Christmas
there.
parties. How was it? Was
What do you
Santa
want?
Claus good
Christmas.
to you?
I would watch a Hannibal Lecter Christmas movie. Hannibal Lecter's Christmas, a Christmas special.
We are naughty
Uh,
girls, we are police.
Clary, pop open the
That's how
casket.
you. That's what you sounded like when you were doing your Hans Gruber. You sounded like Hannibal Lecter. You sounded like Hannibal
They
Lecter
sound the
trying
same
to
to me.
be.
It's the same person, right? Isn't Alan Rickman? Didn't he play Hannibal in Silence of the Lambs? Is that right?
No, that's like Anthony
Or
Hopkins.
is he just Scar in A Lion King?
God, Jesus. But yeah,
Either way,
where would you rate this
yeah.
movie?
This is top of the pops for me. This
I don't
is
know.
like
What we give you a rating like out of 5?
5. It's a 5 out of 5 for me.
Yeah,
This
5
one
out of 5.
it's a perfect 80s action movie. Like maybe the best 80s action movie.
Yeah, I give it a 5 out of 5. No alcohol required.
No alcohol required. Enjoy it sober or
Yeah.
drunk, whatever you want to do, but just drink responsibly
Yeah, or high.
or high, whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
or asleep. Watch it in your sleep. Just put it on at any time. Watch it 24 hours a day.
Yeah, do you want me a real bummer if you they had like the device where you can like put it's like a helmet you can put on your head and you just
Mhm.
watch a movie in like 5 seconds, but you get all the information that you need from it. That would
That's
suck.
terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
because you
sounds
can't
terrible.
absorb it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd enjoy that.
Mm.
There'll be in the future that'll be how you watch movies, and then like people will look down on you for watching like analog movies. Like you're gonna spend 2 hours watching this movie? Who are you? Don't you have better things to do?
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, Die Hard. Go watch Die Hard, and then watch Die
Beep
Hard of the
beep Keanu
Vengeance,
Reeves.
and beat Keanu Reeves. But yeah, watch Die Hard. Watch Die Hard with a Vengeance. Maybe skip the rest of them, but
Yeah, I still
those
want
two
to
are
watch
best.
Die Hard with the Vengeance. I still haven't seen that one yet.
It's really good. Die Hard 2, also a Christmas movie, but
Yeah.
not as good as the first one.
Yeah. How can the same thing happen to the same guy twice?
Twice, this time in an airport.
Is this a dude from
Mhm.
Salt Sink in there? I can't remember the dude's
You mean
name.
Death from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
I guess so.
William Sadler?
That's who it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the guy
yeah,
with
he definitely is in there.
Williams.
And he's quite terrifying and quite ripped in that movie.
Hmm. Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
for him
nothing
though.
like dude from Salt Sink doing naked karate.
Naked Karate. I wouldn't have it any other way.
So this has been Drew from Horror Sci-Fi and Beyond. If you like this video, make sure you thumbs it up. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, which I'll leave that link down in the description below. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. And stay tuned on Christmas Day because we'll have a Burt Reverse version of a Christmas Carol. I don't know what version that's going to be right now.
It's a
But
mystery.
yeah, it's going to be the Muppet version. I guarantee you, it's going to be the Muppet version.
Don't spoil it.
It's,
We should just do which one we want.
I mean, we'll talk about the other ones.
They can't stop us.
We'll talk about the other ones.
You're right. Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, I'll see you then. Over and out. Bye.